can't say I terribly want to relive the trauma of the Men movie, but sure, here's the full spoilers. Turn away, please. So the movie starts with our main character Harper looking out the window and then seeing her husband fall down to his death. To then get away from things, Harper takes a trip to the beautiful countryside for a deserved vacation after her husband. There she meets a seemingly nice at this point caretaker Jeffrey, but remember his face. We take a step back and get a flashback of what actually happened to her husband because it's important for the rest of the film. We see that they're arguing because Harper is going to leave James. James then says to Harper, I'm going to kill myself so that you have to live with the guilt. Things get increasingly intense. He hits her, she kicks him out, and then... Can't show much of this movie on here, but he hits a fence down below and gets impaled. Back to reality, we see that Harper is enjoying her time in the countryside, going on this long, beautiful, just untouched walk until she finds this super long tunnel on her hike. She goes in and she starts singing these musical harmonies and it like echoes. It's kind of a long drawn out scene and it's fun until you see someone stand up at the other end and instead of a musical harmony, it's an inhuman screech. Harper bolts out of the tunnel back down the path that no one's been on this whole time as this thing is chasing her down and she's surrounded by hills, really hard to get out of until she hits a dead end. She has to climb up, she goes into this field, takes a deep breath, takes a picture of the scenery to capture the moment, and then sees a naked man standing there. He doesn't chase her anymore, and she just ends up back at her vacation home. Next day comes around, though. Harper is video calling her friend Riley, and in the background of all the scenes with all these windows in this house, you see the same naked man with scars all over just watching her. She, after an alarming amount of time, finally sees him standing out there, runs to lock the unlocked open front door, but saves herself. He does reach in the mail slot, but she's able to keep him out, and the police come and take this naked, scarred man away. If you look closely at this point, you can realize the naked man and the police officer look exactly similar to Jeffrey. It is like a copied on face. Dealing with the even more trauma, Harper goes on another walk to and ends up at a church where she sees this boy in the back with this really creepy mask. And it's a little man hybrid boy. If you saw Jeffrey, it's the same face. He wants to play hide and seek. She says no. He says some choice words. And the vicar or priest of the church comes out, kind of shoos away the boy and kind of comforts Harper, except he doesn't because she tells him the story. And he says, well, it's kind of your fault your husband died because you didn't let him apologize. You kicked him out. Harper then makes her way to a pub, Valid, where she sees the real life Jeffrey and talks to him about a few things. But all the patrons in the bar also look like Jeffrey. Importantly, in this scene too, the policeman is there and tells Harper, well, we let the naked man go because he didn't really do a crime. Harper is obviously invalidly upset that they let this creepy man that was just stalking her go. She walks home and in the background you can see the naked man watching her. I'm gonna say the creepy man moving forward instead of like a variation of the word naked. Here's where it gets progressively weirder. Okay, Harper is back at the place talking to her friend Riley, and Riley says, hey, I'll come pick you up in the morning because it seems like it sucks. Harper can't get the address to Riley because either her phone cuts out or the text goes out, and then outside the lights start flickering. Harper then goes outside to see the policeman that looks like Jeffrey standing outside, but the lights flicker, and it's getting trippy. Whenever the lights go on and off, a person disappears, and then who reappears next is a random patron that was in the bar that then chases Harper inside. She closes and locks the door and grabs a knife for self-protection. And when she's inside, scared, holding the knife, the real-life Jeffrey shows up to show that what was actually the sound was a crow flying through the window. So he grabs it and just... And Jeffrey, hearing that Harper is scared and people are around the house, being the upstanding caretaker he is, offers to go outside and look around for her. Jeffrey surveys the property. It's cool, it's chill, until the lights flicker again, and in his place when the lights go back on is the creepy stalker man. He then chases Harper to the door. She does lock it and get inside, but he again sticks his hand through the mail slot, and she has the knife from earlier, so she stabs his forearm. And he doesn't just leave that. No, it's really disgusting. Disgusting alert. He pulls his forearm back out of the mail slot, thus splitting his forearm in two. But that's not the end. No, when she goes back inside, she sees this creepy little man boy in there saying, do you want to still play hide and seek? Again with Jeffrey's face, until who else is in the house? The priest. This scene gets real weird. Don't watch it with your family because the priest then tries to get with Harper, really aggressive. She stabs him in the stomach. That's what happens. Both the boy and the priest, though, both have their forearms split in half, showing it's probably the same person with all these people and faces. Okay, after stabbing the priest and running away, Harper is able to get to her car and she starts driving away, but hits the supposedly and historically innocent Jeffrey that was really helpful until Jeffrey gets up from being hit, pulls her out of the car, and then starts chasing Harper down in her own car. Harper escapes Jeffrey running her down in the car by him hitting a stone wall, but turn away now because it just gets so... After the car crash, Harper is outside and Jeffrey doesn't come around the corner. No, the the creepy man does, but looking way different because earlier in the film he put like seeds inside himself and plants, so now he's a full-on plant monster. And symbolically, this creepy, naked stalker woods monster also has a broken ankle, exactly as we see the flashback as James looked. He had his forearm split open on the fence and a broken ankle, so they look identical in injuries. But okay, I can't show any of this. This is so messed up. The creepy stalker man then falls to the ground, and I kid you not, straight up, he gives birth then to like the creepy boy. 100% serious here. It is so bad because they like show everything. This is like, I don't know what orifice the birth is coming out of, but you can kind of guess because he gives birth to the little boy. The little boy then walks towards her a little bit, then falls over and gives birth to the priest, all with the same Jeffrey face. The priest crawls towards her, he falls over, gives birth to Jeffrey. Okay. And then this like monster that's all like distorted, Jeffrey, gives birth to her late husband, James. And then to end it, Harper and James sit on a couch where he's all like full of like birth stuff, and they talk and he says, "I just want your love." Then it's about the end because the next morning Riley shows up, who's also pregnant, which I'm sure has a lot of symbolism, and she sees Harper on the steps with a blood trail to her, sitting there smiling. That's it. It's over.